Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian and I am going to be talking a little bit about this whole destiny swapping thing. This is one of those buzzwords that I've been hearing lately on social media and just hearing a lot of different people talk about. And in my own time of just kind of seeing what this term means and what people have been saying. I've had my own experiences. I'm not saying that my destiny has been swapped, okay? And I believe that any attempts have failed, but I definitely do believe that there's some wisdom to be taken from having this talk or talking about this topic, because I for sure have had my own experiences that now that this term has really been making its way around social media and everything, it has really caused me to go back and realize the things that have happened in my life. Like, this sounds pretty exact to what this may be, or this is definitely sounding like destiny swapping, okay, or an attempt to destiny swap. I understand that there are so many different things out here and so many different ways that people attempt to do different things, so I'm not necessarily trying to go deep into all of that. If you're interested in going deep and trying to figure out how people do certain things, that is your business. That is up to you. But what I more so specifically want to do in this video is to give you some wisdom and things that I have learned from my own experiences in life that could hopefully help you to not have to go through these things, or that could hopefully help you to avoid going through any extra situations than you have to. I will say that I have gone through a lot of different things, specifically in the area of friendships and just the different connections in my life. And I never really understood, but now I see that it was good for me to go through certain things, because look, now I'm here talking about it, and I absolutely am one of these people that feel like because I've gone through it, now I can help other people. I personally am not ashamed of the things that I have gone through, because I believe that I have overcome those things. And a lot of those experiences, even as messed up as they may have been, have shaped me to become the woman that I am today. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this topic of destiny swapping. I feel that the best definition that I can give for destiny swapping literally is just someone that is envious or jealous of your life, and they literally want your destiny. They literally want to walk in your shoes. They want your life, and some people will go to many extents to try to make this happen. But the whole thing is that what God has written over your life, He has written over your life. Yes, there are some people that can be affected by these attempts, so I'm not putting this out there that you just walk around aimlessly and just act like this stuff doesn't exist. I personally believe in the power of prayer. That has shaped my life in so many ways, and God has actually shown me things about the people in my life that literally were trying to be me in a sense, or literally were trying to take on my personality, take on these different things that I walk in and that I embody. And in the natural for me, I almost went through, like, when these situations were happening, went through something that was kind of like, I just can't see how this could be happening, or I just can't understand how this person has been up under me and so close to me, why they would want to literally now try to, it just gives be me in a sense. And it's not to make fun of any of these people, it's not to anything like that. But once you start to really see the situation for what it is, it actually makes you have compassion for a person. And I'm in no way saying it's right what they're doing, especially if they've gone to deep levels of doing things to try to be you or take your destiny or whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is, it has caused me to actually have compassion for those people, because the whole reason that they may even feel in their mind or maybe acting out these actions that are emulating what I do in my life is because they lack identity in themselves. They don't know who they are. They are yearning to have identity. So the person that is close to them, which was me at the time before actually realizing certain things and actually going through betrayals and stuff, that is who they in a way may idolize or may see as a person that is living this life that they would want to live. And so that can lead for things, and has led in my personal life to people doing things to try to stop that. Even though I look at it as a spiritual thing, I do believe that you can also look at it from a psychological way. So there's something inside of a person that is making them feel like they're not good enough. Their destiny is not enough for them to walk out and live. And the scariest part about it is a person may look at somebody's life, they may look at these great things going in somebody's life and not even realize all the things that they've had to go through or get through to even get to that space. Not even realize all the trials and everything that they've had to face in their life. They just see the glitz and glamour and feel like, I want that. But they don't want the other stuff. They don't want to go through that. And that can be very scary and dangerous because you don't really know what comes with somebody else's life. And I'm not saying that that means their life has to be bad. I'm not saying that my life is bad. But what I'm saying is, if you want to take somebody's destiny or you want to be somebody, you need to be willing to want to take everything on that that person has gone through. I mean, you shouldn't be trying to take anything from someone anyway, but when you really think about it in that way, if you're not even willing to walk through the tough and the hard things that a person has gone through, why would you just want the good part of their life, the blessings of their life? And one thing I have come to know in this life is that we all go through things. We all have our own trials and tests, and what somebody else may have been able to get through, you may not would have been able to get through walking in their shoes, or what this person may be able to walk in and carry out, I may not be able to get through that. So I have just found that it's just best to just be content with your life, focus on yourself, and make the best of the life that you have been given. And some people out here, their destiny may seem, or their life may seem so great, but the magnitude of what they are walking in and what they have to face on a daily, the average person could not even handle. Think about the people that are in the spotlight, or people that may be celebrities or whatever, constantly have all these eyes on them, constantly have people talking about them, constantly have all these things going on. There are some people out here that if they just knew that one person was talking about them, that just sends them overboard. So you have to really sit down and factor in that the life that you have, you just have to make the best of it and understand that what is for you is for you. Yes, you can evolve and become greater and all these things, but I do not believe that the answer is trying to become somebody else. Okay, so I'm going to say destiny swapping in this video. That's what it's about. But if you are somebody who may prefer a different term or may just see things in your life from a different way, may want to call it a different thing, that is fine with me, whatever. But I do want to say that with this, I guess, phenomenon, or with this thing that I'm going to just call destiny swapping, that I have personally experienced in my life, well, it hasn't actually been able to be successful, but I have noticed that the friendships and what I thought were friendships are the people that I've had in my life where these attempts are these manifestations of what feels like destiny swapping have tried to happen. It always has started out with some form of flattery of me. It always has started out with some form of, oh, wow, I really like this about you, or I like that you have this on. Where'd you get this? Or different things like that. It's always started with little things. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they like this about me. They may be inspired about this. Let me tell them this. Or I got it from here. Or this. I still do that. And I'm learning to use wisdom even in that, because some people do want to know where you get things from and where you have these things from, because they literally want to have everything that you have. And that's not everybody. I'm not saying you can't tell anybody where you got that cute dress from or where you got them earrings from, but I'm just saying, pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to the people that are constantly keeping an eye on what you have on, what you have going on in your life. They know more about your life and they know more about you than you. That is a problem. But pay attention to people that they just know you so well. They're sending you things. This has literally happened to me. A person that was very close in my life sending me something. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. I really like that. And their response was along the lines of, yeah, I knew you would like that. Now that I look back, when I was younger, I kind of felt like, oh, yeah, they know what I like or whatever. We're cool and all that. But now I look back, why is somebody that invested in you that they're just sending you stuff that they know that you would like? And it's not that they necessarily went out and got that thing or wanted that thing. But looking back at different things, I'm able to pick up now that this was that or this was that. But alongside with the flattery, I know that it started to now become, okay, now they're wearing little things like you wear, or now they want to start wearing their hair like how you wear your hair, or now they want to start dressing like how you dress. And I'm not saying that you can't have people in your life that maybe y'all are inspired by each other, but I'm just saying, when that start happening, you need to be mindful of of some things. You need to keep an eye out for how things are starting to go, because if it continues to go that route and you notice that it's starting to become greater and greater, that can be a sign of someone that may want to destiny swap, be you, have your destiny, whatever you want to call it. That is oftentimes a dangerous sign. That person usually will be jealous or envious of you. And what I have noticed about all of these situations, there was some form of jealousy or envy in these people. There was some form of, I don't even want to call it obsession, but I do believe that some of these people did have an unhealthy fixation on me and my life. They very well could have been obsessed or could be obsessed still watching me. But there was an unhealthy fixation in these people on me. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they're my friend. Oh, we're cool. Oh, we're this or we're that. It couldn't possibly be this weird situation. And when somebody is jealous and envious of you, I have found there's no way to make them unjealous or unenvious of you. You need to get those people out of your space. Get those people out of your life. Every situation where somebody has ended up being jealous or envious of me, they have either tried to sabotage something in my life. They have literally tried to one-up me and being me. Literally tried to one-up me by being me, by doing the things that I do, by dressing the way that I dress, by acting like me. So trying to sabotage the competition, the not being supportive but expecting me to be supportive, those type of things have always been something that have accompanied the different people in my life that have been jealous or envious of me. And it doesn't matter how nice I was to them. It doesn't matter how kind I was to them. It doesn't matter how supportive I was to them. It doesn't matter how good I was to them. There was nothing that I could have done to make them unjealous of me or unenvious of me. If a person is jealous or envious of you, they're jealous or envious of you. You cannot take that person's heart and reprogram it to be any other way. And I know it may hurt to even hear this. You may have somebody in your life that you deeply love or care about, but you have to look at it this way. I thought about if I would have avoided those situations or gotten out of those situations quickly or quicker, I could have avoided some really hurtful situations. I could have avoided some disappointment and betrayals that I did not have to go through. So you have to look at it as a protection thing of you getting away from that situation. Usually when a person is jealous or envious of you, I have found that they're not willing to admit it. Their actions will say so, how they treat you will say so, but it's very rare that a person is going to admit to you that they're jealous or envious of you, especially if you're dealing with a person with a lot of pride. If somebody has a very prideful heart or very prideful spirit, they're not going to be willing to be like, they're jealous of you, or they're not going to want to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that. And I don't believe that you should judge them and harp on, everybody goes through different things. Everybody has different feelings. Everybody has to figure out their own lives and what they got going on in their lives. But all I'm saying is you have to protect yourself, but you can still have compassion for them. You can still want the best for them, but you can do that in different space than them. I have found it better to do that with them out of my life, moving on from them, allowing them to go their way, and I go my way, because it's not worth it anymore to me to allow anyone in my life to try to sabotage or stop me from getting someplace or try to literally take over me as if they can be me. Okay? Nobody can be me. Nobody can do me. I am me. And the times that I have confronted these situations, I was gaslit like crazy. Like I was just making stuff up. I literally had evidence for one situation in my phone as a text message, but I was gaslit. It was a situation where somebody literally started to dress like me, and then towards the end, it was like everything I liked, then it just felt like they all of a sudden liked it. Even some of the ways that I was talking in my mannerisms, it just felt like they started to be like that. And the scary part about it is that when we first started talking, everything seemed well, they seemed humble, but towards the end of the situation, their pride was at a maximum. I literally have evidence of them saying that I have inspired them, like the way they dress and everything. And when I confronted the situation, they literally tried to make me seem like I was just making all this stuff up, that they weren't dressing like me and all this stuff. And so in these situations, you just have to understand that it's no point in trying to reason and get anyone to understand. People formulate whatever they want to formulate in their minds. People believe whatever they want to believe in their minds. It's not my job to make someone feel like what they have done is wrong. It's not my job to try to convince somebody of the experience and the perception that I have in my life based off of how they have treated me. So if they cannot understand and come to terms with what I am expressing as a concern, I have to remove myself from the situation, and that's that. Okay? No more people pleasing. No more running behind people, trying to get them to understand, trying to formulate their brain to just get it. Just get away from anyone that you know does not have good intentions towards you. I think because we live in such a society where we're taught, oh, you have to be nice and all of this stuff. I believe in being kind. Now that I see being nice, just doing stuff because you want people to like you, and just being agreeable with any and everything, that is not wise. That is not wise, because people will take advantage of that. People will see that and believe that they can get away with certain things, especially if your nature comes off as good, especially if your nature already comes off as kind. You have to use wisdom, because there are people out here that will see that and that will play on that, that will try to manipulate and take from you as much as they can. Okay, so let's quickly go back into the identity thing, because I get that we're all on our journey. I don't want to make it seem like everybody just comes out of the womb just knowing who they are, knowing their identity and all these things. I understand that everybody is different and everybody has to walk out their own path. But once I became sure of myself, once I became sure of who I am and what I'm supposed to do and where I want to go in my life and what I want for my life, it was like this light switch. It was like it was this radiancy was about me, and I started to notice that I was attracting a lot of people in my life, and I still do, that are not sure of themselves. And again, I have compassion because I once was at a place where I was not sure of myself. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing and all these different things. But once I have come out of that place, I see that you cannot be too close to somebody who is not sure of themselves for long while you are sure of yourselves, because eventually there will start to be either conflicts, or you may start to get uncomfortable. They more than likely will be uncomfortable. The energy can just start to become weird because now they may have resentment towards you. They may be jealous, they may be envious, they may be angry, whatever the case may be, because you are sure of yourself and they are not sure of themselves. So that's not a good situation. I have tried to be the one to allow people to come in my life and just meet them where they are. Oh, we can be friends and not consider the different levels that we are at. Now, I'm not saying that you should treat anybody bad because they may be at a different level than you are at the current moment, or whatever season you may be in life. Again, we're all on a different journey and we all have our different paths. But what I am saying is, if you notice that there are some differences that are great in your life, not just talking about finances or the materialistic things, I'm talking about spiritually also. If you are at a greater level and you're around somebody who is at a lower level, I have even seen that has been something that has triggered a lot of people around me that I thought we could have been cool. Or I've always been a person, honestly, when I look back in my younger 20s and just period, I wasn't a person that was like, oh, I can't be friends with you because I have this and you have that, or because I live here and you live here, I couldn't be friends with you. I honestly have been a person for sure in the past where it was like, oh, okay, as long as I like you, we can roll out together, okay? We can be friends. But as I have elevated and grown, I've started to see that has not worked in my life. And I'm not saying, again, that you can't have associates and people around you that may not be at that whatever level that you may be. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, your spiritual life, and the physical things, the things that you have physically, you do want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself around people that are similar or kind of on your level. When you are surrounding yourself around people that may have a deficit in those different areas, I have found that it has caused them to resent me. It has caused them to then become jealous and try to compete with me and different things like that. Or they'll find like something so random, something so something that to me is like, I can get that still. Like, for instance, one thing personally I have noticed is that the women around me, if they have felt jealous or insecure when it comes to me, the one thing they like to throw in my face is that they have a man. I personally have never been that type of woman where a man has been, my whole life. Having a man is not my main focus. I know that I can get a man. I know that I can get married, but I want the right thing in my life. I'm not going to race you and rush you to have this thing so that I can prove something to you. So things like that, if you notice little things like that, where there's people in your life trying to nitpick, oh, well, you don't have this, oh, you don't have that. They probably more than likely feel insecure or have some form of jealousy towards you. That is not the type of relationships that are good to have around you. You need to have people around you that will support you and uplift you. Continuing to stay in relationships and friendships of that nature that are negative and toxic usually always end up in destruction. Whether it's quickly happens or whether it happens years down the line. You have to just accept people for where they are in life. Accept them for where their hearts are in life, and don't try to assume or change people. Don't try to think that because you love people and you continue to be good to people, that they're going to be good back to you. That is where you are met with disappointment. Okay, so moving on with the topic. One thing that I want to say when it comes to just kind of guarding your life and protecting your life from the whole destiny swapping and people trying to BU or whatever you want to call it, is that you need to be mindful of the people that know the ins and outs of your life, the people that are seeing you consistently day by day and throughout each day. Know what you're doing, know what you have going on, know a lot of the personal details and things in your life. A lot of times when we meet up with people, some people are honestly great actors. They're good at hiding or putting on a facade. So you can easily meet up with somebody that you have in your life, or maybe you haven't talked to a friend in a couple of months and y'all meet up and you're telling her all your business. You don't know what she's doing. Let's say y'all don't talk for another 2 months after that. You don't know what's going on in her mind, in her heart, what she's personally doing and capable of doing in her private life once she has left your presence. And you have given her all this information about you. There are people that will go see some people about you to try to mess up your life, to try to stop your blessings. And once you realize things like this actually do exist, once you realize that there are people out here that really don't care about you, that really do want to see your downfall, you start to become more discerning in what you share. I would recommend just keeping quiet about those things that you feel are really important to you and that you feel are really special to you. There have been times where I literally, and some of my worst seasons have been the most supportive of other people, what I thought were friends in my life. And when things finally started to go well for me, it was like, oh, I'm happy for you. In that sarcastic tone where they're not really happy for you. It was just like that. So it's like, why am I wasting my time being a good friend or a good person to these people when they clearly are showing that they don't have the capability to be happy for me? They already feel like I have this going on in my life. So they're not happy to hear that anything else good is happening to me, even though I just told them all the bad stuff that I just walked through. But nobody should be that intertwined in your life outside of your spouse to know all of these different details about you. If things make you uncomfortable, I would warn you to actually take heed to those things that are making you uncomfortable and take them as warnings, red flags, whatever you want to call it. Take that as a sign so that you probably should back away or start discerning what's really happening in the situation that you may have yourself in or with the people that you may have yourself connected to. The signs were there. Whenever I look back, the signs were there. And again, it started with the smallest of things, and then over time it grew. And because we don't want to believe that things like this happen, we don't want to believe that this could actually be the case for our lives, sometimes we make excuses and sometimes we kind of brush over things until it's like right there in our faces. So if I could recommend anything, it would be to focus on the small things and take mental notes of the small things so you don't have to wait until they become the big things to say, I'm peacing up out of here. I've had enough. But again, be careful of the people that you have in your life that are watching the ins and outs of your everyday life. A red flag is someone wanting to know everything about you. Somebody wanting to know all the details of your life. It can even start back to just simple stuff as what you're wearing, where you like to shop, where you like to go. Somebody wanting to know all these different things about your life so that they can go back in their everyday life and start to mimic and recreate these things. If there are some things that you want to keep to yourself, keep to yourself. I used to feel like, oh, I had to share all these things, or people like to say, oh, you're gatekeeping and this and that. But once I started to really see on a personal level, certain people in my life literally try to mimic and copy, and it just felt like literally they were trying to be me. And I know some people may say that that's flattering, but when it's actually happening to you, it's not flattering. It's actually annoying. It's actually feels like someone trying to attack my individuality. I don't like that. And again, I'm not saying you can't be inspired by things, but when it's becoming a consistent thing from a person where they're consistently being like you or picking up things like you, that does not feel good. That does not feel good to have that done to you, especially when they're unwilling to take accountability and acknowledge what they're doing. It's been situations to where all of a sudden they're wearing the type of hair that I like to wear. Then it's the type of outfits. Then it's the type of different things, the little accessory type things that I like. That can get dangerous. A person who has not evolved and become secure in themselves will start to compete and competing, and that type of things can become very dangerous to engage with or have somebody that's engaging in that type of behavior towards you, because some people don't know when enough is enough. Some people don't know when to stop. Some people will go to great lengths to destroy a person that they feel like is at a greater level or better than them. So this is serious stuff. The gift of discernment, or the ability to be able to discern the truth behind the motives of the people in your life, is one of the greatest blessings that I believe a person can pray for and ask for. It may not always feel like a blessing when you constantly feel like these things are being shown to you, because sometimes you do just want to believe that everybody is good, or you do want to believe that, okay, finally I found somebody that I can just, relax around and be myself around. But when things are shown to you, just move accordingly. I'm not saying cut everybody out of your life. That is probably not the most healthiest thing to do, but just know how to move with the people around your life. And when things have gone to a toxic level, or you notice that things have become like a person is competing with you and things like that, just remove yourself from the situation. It's not worth trying to compete back with them. You're you. How can somebody compete with you in being you? Okay, you guys, that is my take on this conversation. Again, I've had so many different situations in my life where, again, it always started out as flattery and then it just progressed into something a little more. And I'm not saying that you can't have people in your life that, are inspired by you and that see the good things about you, but just be mindful of where that flattery is coming from. For somebody to just be flattered by you, almost like obsessive over you, or secretly just, it's an unhealthy admiration, you want to be careful with those situations. Even if you are in a friendship, I have been in so-called, or what I thought were friendships, and the flattery was there. The knowing all this stuff about me and able to just know what I like and all these things was there. The slowly shift into liking and doing and literally picking out things that they know that I like, they would show up now with those things. Whether it's the same color that I like or different things like that. It just progressed into something unhealthy. And once all of those connections ended, I can't really say that I really gained a lot from those connections. I can't really say that those people were really there for me. When somebody is overly flattered by you, you're more likely to put your guard down because, oh, they're flattered or whatever, they're inspired. Don't be so quick to put your guard down just because somebody is flattered or inspired by you. If they're inspired by you, that's cool, that's good. But that doesn't mean that now they get a ticket to experience your whole life, okay? This thing is real that I've experienced, where someone will literally try to take over your whole being because of envy and jealousy. And if they feel like they can't be you or outdo you or be better than you, then the next step is they have tried to sabotage or stop things from my life. But what's for me is for me, okay? Anyway, y'all, I'm done with this talk. This has just been a walk down memory lane. And I hope that me opening up about some of my experiences and just talking about this subject at hand, I feel like it's a very important thing to talk about, because this is a real thing going on in people's lives. And I've even had people where, and this is no diss or anything like that, but when I would talk to them about this, they're just like, oh, that's never happened to me. And I'm not saying that, they're not inspirational or anything like that, but just because it didn't happen to you does not mean that it didn't happen to other people. And I have noticed that some people in life, they just got it. Some people you can look at and just see that they just have it. They have that influence on them. They have that gift. They just light up a room. Or when they walk in a room, all eyes are on them. So if you have experienced these things, don't even let anyone gaslight you or make you feel like you haven't experienced these things. I've seen so many different things online, and from all these people that have usually experienced these situations, there are people that have that girl or that guy type of, I guess, energy, vibe, whatever you want to call it. They have that. You can look at them and see, okay, I see why this has happened, or I see why this has happened. And it's not always about you having the fanciest things and the most expensive things. And yes, that may be the case for you or whomever, but sometimes it's just simply what you carry. Sometimes it's just simply that light that you have, the personality, the fact that people like you, the fact that people want to be around you, the fact that you're walking out your purpose, the fact that you have leveled up and you look the way that you feel the best that you have looked in life now, or you carry yourself in a different way. You have upgraded to a new, I guess, place in society, whatever the case may be. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and it helped to give you some insight. And this is something that I just feel like everyone should do, is just to be mindful of the people that you have in your life. And sometimes we don't always get it right. Sometimes we may allow people into our lives that should have never been there. So just use wisdom moving forward in who you are allowed in your life. Okay, it's okay to be selective with who you allow in your life. I realized when I was at an age where I wasn't as secure in myself, I allowed all kinds of people in my life. I allowed all different kinds of connections. I even remember when I was a lot younger, I remember the specific situation where I walked up to people that were in my life and they were talking about me. As soon as I got up, they hush hush. And it's interesting that I'm thinking about that now, because I'm sure this can help somebody. That should have been a clear sign that those people were not for me then. And me continuing to have what I thought was a friendship later down the line ended up in me being betrayed in a way that I never thought that would be betrayed. So look at the signs that are shown to you. It can save you from going through things that you were never intended to go through. But you have to be the one to stand up for yourself, and you have to be the one to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. And again, if you are battling with anything like insecurity or anything like that, you have to work on healing that place inside of you, because when you do feel insecure, it's easier to allow things that you don't deserve, or it's easier to allow people in that will treat you any kind of way, okay? And I believe that you deserve better. All right. So I'm ending this video, guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.